Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mokah Kodash. Double honors to our head apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to all Akim out there doing the work in sincerity and charity with humiliation across the four winds. The you I salute. This is the brother Yahweh Sap. I'll share with a brief lesson. Yeah, man, the brother Kaza One did a beautiful lesson in camp yesterday concerning farming. You know, we know farming right now becoming a real interest in not only in the Bahamas, but across the world, the whole world. You know, farming is something that ain't just started, but you know, that's a way to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai chastise his people. Not only his people, also the wicked as well, the 2/3 as well. You know, farming is a major thing. You know, we know that it's also a part of prophecy. Farming is a big part of prophecy because, you know, with food, when you don't have food to eat, especially with these families would have children and their loved ones would can't support themselves, and they have to support them by feeding them and supporting them with whatever they need. You know, so it was a beautiful lesson that Malak did yesterday, man. Beautiful lesson Malak did yesterday, the brother Kaza One up there in Nassau. You know, that was beautiful. That would really inspired me to do this lesson today. You know, it really inspired me to do this lesson, you know, because we know we get a lot of our people in this country, they on what we call welfare. And a lot of our people what can't, a lot of our people what can't, a lot of Salakia for that, Salakia. Yeah, and a lot of our people what can't defend and wait for themselves to supply food, you know. We would got to go to these churches, like brother say, they mean these food program, social service. And if it wasn't for these program and these churches, and they having a hard time as well supplying the food. You know, because we know farming was a major thing long time. It ain't just start. Because if you look at what really going on there in Jamaica the other day with the hurricane, them people, they was out of food for days. For days and days they was out of food. Even right there in Babylon, when the government shut down there in Babylon, how the people was crying about they couldn't get what they supposed to get in order to feed their kids and what have you. You know, so farming is a big part of what's going on in this world. Farming right now is a major prophecy that is happening right now in this world. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, the Apocrypha, Sirach, Salakia, chapter 39 and 28. See, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in time of destruction. They pour their force and appears the wrath of him that made them. Which 29, fire. And we know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai wrath. This is a part of his wrath. This is a part of his judgment. You know, this is a part of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai judgment, famine. You know, because food is a major thing. I mean, for people, for the human body. You know what I mean? Without food, you can't get nourishment and protein and other stuff your body needs. So your body will start to break down and eat itself from inside out. And it's painful. That's a painful way to go. You know. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, and all these were created for vengeance. Yeah, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai created farming for vengeance. This a way of this part of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai judgment. You know, farming is a part of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai judgment. Food, because he know without food, even water, because the brother even speaks about how the crazy rivers and the Amazon River and all these other big rivers both in certain part of the world drying up where the people them hardly could get water. Water is a major thing as well. Part of farming, because without water the body will straight. You know, you'll die from thirst as well, which is a part of it. You know, so it's a great thing. You know what I mean, to know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, especially our brothers in his faith. You know, it's a great thing to know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because you know Yahweh Hashem Yahushai can make sure his people eat. You know, we gonna make sure his elect eat. You know. And not only that, we know that these kids, they can't go without food. You know, they can't go without food at all. You know, because without food, they wouldn't be able to get no nourishment. You know, they wouldn't be able to survive. And for the body to eat itself from inside out, that's a painful thing. You know, that's a real painful thing. The Most High have his ways of punishing his people, you know, and that's a part of his way of punishing, not giving them food. You know, not giving them food. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai even speaks about how we will destroy the food as they try to grow it. You could imagine you trying to grow food and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai ain't bringing no water. He just, the sun dead hot, whatever, try to grow it, just it's twinkle. Then you get the ice and that cold would get string things. It wouldn't be able to grow that we'd be able to have food. And these things coming. These things coming. This is a part of prophecy. Farming is a part of prophecy that coming. These things gonna happen where we wouldn't have no food. We'd be lack of food. And that's gonna be crazy. You know, when you see you can't get fine food to eat, then you know that's gonna be big trouble. You know. That's the book of Amos. This is the book of Amos, chapter. Bear with me, brothers. Amos. Come on. This is the book of Amos, chapter 4 and 9, and it reads, "Say, I have smitten you with blasting and mildew, when your gardens and your vineyards and your fig trees and your olive trees increased. He plumber-wormed devoured them, yet have ye not returned unto me, said Yahweh Hashem Yahushai." He said, tell you how we can start it. He show you how he can destroy the food as well. It ain't only the food what you see Esau them creating in these factories and other places. They wouldn't be able to produce that we'll be able to eat. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai also say how he will do his part in this, take his part in this farming as well. He's gonna make sure it happen by destroying the crops. You know what I mean? Through his fury, through the way he will visit the place and that things wouldn't grow, and if it grow, then he will destroy it through mildew. Then he say, Salakia, hails, snow, lack of rain, all of this can cause it. You wouldn't be able to grow no food, because every time you try to grow it, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai can do his part in destroying whatever crop or food source we try to grow. And this ain't only can happen one way. Farming can be a worldwide, something is coming. And this have to take place. This is a part of prophecy. You know, because the scripture speaks about it. And also it's going to be hell hell out here too when you see that start happening. When you see the Jakes and these family can't find food for them loved ones to eat. You know, that's gonna be real problem out here. That's the book of Second Esdras 6. Shit, it's a lock here. Book of Second Esdras chapter 6. And 20. Second Esdras 6 and 22. 6 and 22. And it reads, and suddenly shall the sword, Salakia, and suddenly shall the sword places appear unsworn. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Speaking about these stores and these warehouses of food and wherever the food factory is, all these places, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they can be closed down, so it ain't gonna be no food. It ain't gonna be nothing to eat. You know? It ain't gonna be shit to eat. And we know the man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, starting with the apostle, the right on down, we know that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is preparing us for things like this. He's preparing us for when there's no food, because most definitely he'll be able to feed his people. We know he'll be able to feed his people. You know, because there's a story in the Bible whereby Yahweh Hashem Yahushai sent a raven. I think I defeat one of the prophets. The raven sent the bird to take food. So you could imagine less us, and most likely most of the men and great millstones, the elders and the apostles is these prophets back here today. So, you know, and teaching the same doctrine, the same faith, and believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and knowing that we'll be able to get feed when this famine like here to start upon this planet, right? And we know this is coming. This is coming because this is a part of prophecy. This book of 2 Esdras 15 and 13. So like here, 2 Esdras 15 and 13, and it reads, they that still the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai can take his part. He have his part. He got his hand in this famine, and he know this is a part of how we gonna destroy and take out the 2/3 through famine. Because you could imagine you can't get no food. Think about it. When you can't get no food, you know, that ain't gonna be easy, especially if you have kids. You can't feed your kids. Most likely you gotta start eating them. You know, probably start from the smallest one or the weakest one. And that ain't an easy thing to do. You know, and all of this is judgment from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is the way Yahweh Hashem Yahushai can bring his judgment upon the 2/3 and the rest of these heathen nation through famine. And that's gonna be crazy. And famine is a major thing. Like me now, I mean, like we could find food now. You know, the Akim out there who know where I is on the island, private island down here, in the Exuma Keys, which is in the part of the Bahamas, the archipelago of the Bahamas. Yeah, they know that I could find all type of food, but plenty days I get up and I look at what I could eat. I look at what I could fix for me to eat, what I want fixed for me to eat, and I could do that. And I say to myself plenty times, boy, I know it can become a time when this food, I wouldn't be able to find this type of food. I wouldn't be able to eat this, I wouldn't be able to eat that. But then through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and being in this truth and holding my faith firm too, the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, I know he will feed me. It ain't gonna be the same type of food, but he'll be able to feed me through whatever food he provide, through me having faith. You know, so yeah, brothers, farming can be a major part of this prophecy. Is a major part, Salakia, the prophecy as well. You know, this book of Jeremiah 42. Salakia. Jeremiah 42 and 16. Bear with me, brothers. Bear with me. Salakia. Jeremiah 42 and 16. Salakia. And it reads, Then it shall come to pass that the sword which feareth, Salakia, which ye feared, should overtake you. There in the land of Egypt, and the famine thereof ye were afraid, shall follow close after you. There in Egypt, and there shall die. Famine can kill a lot of people, the two-thirds, and even these heathen nations going to die because of famine. And we know, like I say, always say, or I continue to say, famine is a part of this prophecy, and we know this is coming, this is going to happen. We could find food now. You know, when a lot of places lacking of food, a lot of countries lacking of food. We know it didn't start, but it ain't in full effect. It's not in full effect as well, but we know it already started. And it's a major prophecy. It's about to take place too on this planet, famine. You see how Hashem will show you how he can play part, how he can be a part of this famine, how he can play his part by destroying whatever crops. And not only that, the animals, the animals would be used for meat. Yahweh Hashem will show he can destroy all of them. He can kill them out as well, even through the heat, the cold. You know what I mean? Even through hurricanes, which we call storms. You know, because if you see what's going on in Jamaica too, the other day when that storm passed through Jamaica, they lose a lot of their livestock. They lose plenty livestock down there as well, which they use for meat, like goats, sheep, and cows. Even their pets, like their dogs, they lose a lot of animals down there as well. You know, so that's the next part of farming, the meat. You wouldn't be able to get that as well. You know, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Sirach, in the Apocrypha Sirach, chapter 40 and 9. And it reads, 40 and 9, and it reads, Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourges. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came the flood. All things that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again, and that which is of the waters do it return into the sea. Famine is a major part of this prophecy. Salakia for reading the whole precept. I didn't supposed to read it, but Salakia to Wadiya Bashem Yoshai for that. That's a part of it's little edification in there as well. You know, to Wadiya Bashem Yoshai for that. But like I say, Akim, this famine is a big part of prophecy. And it's happening. And we know the lack of food is going to kill a lot of the two-thirds and the heathen nations. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai playing a big part in this as well by destroying whatever they try to grow or whatever they try to breed animals. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you have a big part to play in that. Farming is coming. It just started, but it's coming. It was around a little while, but it's coming. And we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the brothers, 144, Lord's will, I hope I be a part of it. You know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai be able to sustain me with food wherever I may be during that time. You know, and the other Akim, them that is out there, pushing and teaching this truth and believing in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So with that, I hope that lesson was edifying and it really serves its purpose, you know. Until I come back with the next lesson. Shalom.